Good morning. It's 7 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. I'm excited to be here with you today to kick off the week and really, create the businesses that we want and rise up to be able to, overcome any walls that come before us this week so that we can create the results that we actually want. So I want to share with you that I'm going to start doing some freestyle coaching on Coffees with Shanda, where you could actually post in a question that you want, and then I'll turn around and I'll answer that question. Excuse me, my throat. I just finished leading a 2-day event the end of last week, and so my throat's still a little bit like, ah! Okay, so I want to share with you as I go into today, as I go into this week, some of the things that maybe can support you along the way so that you don't get overwhelmed. So overwhelmed is such a dangerous feeling to have as an entrepreneur. So it's like you have a vision. Think about something that you want to create right now. Like, think about something that's important for you that if you were to create it in your business or your life, it would be super great. It's like maybe you want to have a child. Maybe you want to grow $1 million company. Maybe you want to grow a $4 million company. Maybe you really want to find an assistant to help you. Maybe you really want to find a husband. Like what's the thing that you're working on in your life right now that it's like, I just really need it to happen. Like, you have these moments where you're like, gosh, like if this thing happened, it would make a huge difference for me right now. Well, when you look at that, the only difference between you reaching that has everything to do with how you climb your walls. I was actually teaching this at the 2-day event that I actually just led, because the fact that what happens is we often drop into some level of overwhelmed, or we start saying things to ourselves like, well, it must not be in the flow because it's not coming together. So even if you look at scripture, there is nothing in scripture that says that it's going to be easy to get to where you want. In fact, it says that we're actually rewarded for doing good work, hard work, and actually getting to the other side of problems. And so I don't know where along the way we all started to believe that somehow everything was supposed to be easy. That's good. Like, do you think having a baby, birthing a baby is easy? No, maybe with an epidural it's easy, but not doing it naturally, right? So would that mean that if it hurts giving birth to a baby, that it's not in the flow, it shouldn't happen? No. So why don't we just stop thinking that every aspect of the road to whatever it is that we want, like we want it, we chose it. I suggest that you actually give authority to someone you love, someone you care about, someone you trust, and give them authority to step into your life and to stand for you around the things that necessarily you might not want to do. I recommend that you share with them, this is the thing that I want to create. Like, I want to create whatever it is. I want to create $1 million business. This is the thing that I want to create. And then give them authority to talk you off the ledge every time you think it's too hard. Because for sure, as long as your dreams, your goals, the things that you're going after are big enough, and I recommend that you go after one that's really big. I've said this for years, and like I'll talk to my clients, like we're going into a mastermind today, and I'll be in a mastermind with our marketing mastery clients for 2 days today. And I'm going to walk in there, and they're going to get a priority worksheet, and they're going to get a quarterly worksheet. And what they do is I want them to like literally choose what are they declaring for the next quarter that they're committed to creating. Now, my 1% club, the clients who work with me privately, they have to do that every quarter. And if they miss it twice in a year, they are let go of the 1% club, meaning that I ask them to leave the 1% club. There's a reason for that. If you want to be in 1% of your category, you have to get real with yourself about the only reason why you don't create things or you don't hit the mark is actually because you're not keeping your word to the thing that you said you wanted to create. Because when you decided that you were going to create it, it's kind of like getting married, you said, for good times and bad times. You know what I mean? Through thick and thin, and I get it. Like, not everybody abides by that. And I get that. But if you want to be in the 1%, you do have to abide by it. I can't tell you how many marriages I've seen. And by the way, if you've gotten a divorce, this is not about I'm not trying to say in any shape or form that you shouldn't have gotten a divorce. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that I've seen more people than I can count that have not gotten a divorce, and then they're in a position, 20 years later, 15 years later, and they're like, I never would have changed the road to get there. It was hard, but I never would have changed the road to get there because of what I have today. I've seen just as many people who have separated, and they're repeating the same patterns in their relationships over and over and over again. Let's just take that into business right now. In business, I will tell you that if we can be humble enough to not sit there and make ourselves right for backing down, right? Like, I didn't want to do that. I wasn't feeling it. I had massive resistance. And then we take the decision that goes with that resistance. Like, the minute you have resistance, when you take the decision off that resistance, you will absolutely be right about it. And what I mean by that is there's this old saying that says, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Which takes crazy humility. It takes crazy humility, because what you see, like what you actually see through your filters, you actually believe that you are right. And what I want to tell you is that these hard moments of growing, like, honestly, I'm happy that I'm here where I'm at inside of HeartCore. I'm really happy. And I look back from the very beginning, I'm like, shit, if I would have known it was going to be as much work as I knew as it was, I probably wouldn't have done it. But then I like to believe that I would have. But I think if somebody would have laid out all the challenging moments, even though when I stand here today, I actually look at them and I can see how they got easier. But there were moments that I couldn't pay my rent. There were moments that I stayed in relationships I shouldn't have. There are moments that I cried myself to sleep. There were all those moments. And then on the other side, there were moments that I overcame a big wall and I felt huge confidence. And confidence feels amazing to feel. I have had moments where I did that event for the first time and, 3 times, 3x'd my investment in it. I've done, you know what I mean? Like, every time we climb these walls, it's like if we don't climb them, we feel that pain. If we do climb them, we feel that relief. And I really believe that all of us need a really good, I won't call it accountability partner, someone we give permission to speak authority over our life. Somebody we give permission that when we're not thinking straight and we're wanting to make decisions out of a space of resistance, that we have somebody who has the right to step in, and we promise that we will not argue them, that we promise that we will not be defensive towards them, that we literally create some sort of a level of, I guess it would be a level of accountability, but like, you want to create so much pain in you going back and pulling back. So overwhelm makes you pull back. You want to create a system in your life that, and this is what I see all the time, if you have a system in your life and you can manufacture it, it doesn't have to be like when someone comes to me and they're in dire straits, I will bank my money on them succeeding much more than somebody who comes to me and says, my wife or my husband makes good money and I'm okay. I definitely have to do it. I want to do it, but I'm okay. Much more challenging to get stronger from that place. So if you're in that place, you're facing a different wall. And so I recommend you start manufacturing the pain behind you. See, the person who's already in dire straits already has the pain behind them. That's actually a good thing. It means that you have to move. You have to move. So now if you're in a good place or you're in a comfortable place, but you still have you still have a really big goal, a big dream, then identify specifics on that dream and then manufacture pain behind you. Give somebody authority to speak into your life and break up whatever it is that you're trying to put in between, like the wall you're building in between you and your success. I look at some of my clients who've been with me and stayed with me, even when they felt bored or felt like there wasn't, like, I don't know what to do next, and they actually stayed and they're making millions today. Their same partners and friends that left, and I know some of them I actually don't know any off the top, I could be wrong, but I don't know any off the top of my head that are actually making millions like they are. Okay, because they're chasing a new strategy. And not that you don't want to add a new strategy, you do. But what you want to do is you want to get so good with one strategy that it makes you millions, and then pay the money to add different strategies on as you can actually handle more bandwidth, which means that you shouldn't be continuously dropping into a state of overwhelm. That means that your system and your strategy is not working, right? Like overwhelm means that you're trying to do too much, which means that you're probably trying to master too many strategies at the same time. Here's another big pitfall I see entrepreneurs do. You get kind of good at a strategy, kind of good, and then you start layering another strategy on top. So for instance, right now, I teach, one of the main staples that I teach is to build like a targeted email list, only because it's like a safe way. Like, I mean, even like I was just at Funnel Hackers with Russell and watching him and his students teach from stage. All of them do by the way, doing online shows, online summits was one of the funnels, but all of them deliver all of the back end of the funnel through email marketing, right? And so when you're looking at least what was taught on the stage, when you look at like emails, even if people don't open up emails the way they used to open up emails, we take all of our email real estate and upload it into all of our social channels to get a bigger reach and create more lookalike audiences. We deliver, like I just bought a $40,000 package cash with someone who emailed me because I don't watch this person on social media, right? On social media, we have a shared resource, meaning that our audiences online are being shared amongst all the other people in your field who are your competitors. When you have email, it's actually real estate. So it's the difference between renting and owning. And so I currently teach that. So to share like what I mean about being masterful, like that's my son. To teach about what it looks like to be masterful, I've done really well on email marketing. And then what I did this year is I sat back and I said, I hired three people. Now I have a bigger bandwidth today. I hired 3 people to help me even take my email marketing up to another level. I have another person coming in that I'm working with that does the online shows and does anywhere from 150 to 200,000 opt-ins, registrations for it. So I'm doing a deal with him, right? And it's like, how do I keep getting more masterful at what I do? Because one really masterful strategy will crush it. Now, the reason why I chose email, the strategy, I'm just kind of showing you because you got to look at your own strategy. You got to run it, right? You're the entrepreneur. You got to run it. The reason why I chose staying at home versus speaking as much. I love speaking, by the way. Love it. But the reason why I chose that over speaking as much is because I'm in a season that I don't want to be away from my family. There is a season that I want to amp it up and speak more. So what I've done is put speaking into my category where I literally do 52 events a year, but they're all in California. They're all in California, right? So that I don't have to leave. I can come home at night. Tonight I get to come home, And so you look at like, what do you want, and stop building walls. Like you don't have to build a wall in your business that you don't want to climb. Like I wouldn't have built a speaking circuit wall because I didn't want to climb those walls of feeling the pain of being away from my child. You get what I'm saying? But I love speaking. I think it's an important vertical to get up. So look at what you're doing in your business and your life, and look at the walls they're already there. Don't build more walls into your strategy to be able to get to where you want to go in the name of making money. Look at what you're trying to do. Find the right system to get there. Develop enough pain behind you, and even if you have to manufacture it. So you might say, you might say something like, okay, here, you might give somebody authority to speak over your life that you won't get defensive with. And you say, okay, I want to create, I'm just going to use $1 million company as an example. I want to create $1 million company. To do that, I'm committed to mastering this one strategy. Okay, great. So in between you and reaching that, there's going to be a series of walls. And overwhelm will get kicked in here somewhere, which means you're going to have to let something else go in your life so that you don't feel that overwhelm. Overwhelm is honestly just a mindset. You're going to have to let something go that maybe you don't want to let go. Sounds funny, but I had to let go of washing my car. I had to let go of grocery shopping. I had to let go of cleaning my house. I had to let go of the idea that I was going to be a great cook in the kitchen. Believe it or not, I actually had a vision of getting cooking classes to be a great cook. Now I want to do cooking classes to cook with my friends and drink wine with them, not learn how to cook for my family. So then I had to give up the comfort of not paying somebody to do that. So I had to make more money to pay somebody to cook. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. Like it's like you, all these are walls that you're going to naturally going to pop up as you're moving towards the thing that you want. And trust me, you're not going to want to climb some of these walls. So you need somebody that you've given permission to speak authority. If you've got a coach, give your coach the authority. Like literally just say, I give you the authority to break up, because sometimes you can have an average coach that can create ridiculous results for you if you just give them authority to speak over your life and break up whatever it is that they see. Because people are afraid to talk to you sometimes because of your defensiveness or how quickly you shut them down or whatever that looks like. And so, you know you. So give somebody authority to speak over your life and tell them where you're going. And then create pain. So pain could be as much as, sometimes pain is you'll give them $100 every time you get defensive, right? Maybe that's pain. For me, pain would be I give you $500 or $1,000 every time I become defensive. That's an easy way to manufacture pain. Sometimes it could be, you'll take over cooking dinner every single night with your husband or your wife for the next month. If every time you get defensive, you'll cook dinner for a week straight and you won't complain about it, right? So manufacture the pain behind you if you don't already have it. If you already have it and it's strong enough, then you will put yourself into action. Look, there's a cost to not doing whatever it is that you want to do. There's a cost. There's always a cost. You're always paying a cost. So think about right now the thing that you want in your life. And what is the cost that you've already paid? What is the cost that you've already paid for not creating that result in your life? Maybe it's like, I absolutely want to have an amazing marriage. What is the cost of you not making that marriage first? Maybe it's, I really want to create a bonded relationship with my child. What's the cost you've already paid for not doing that? For not making them a priority? Maybe it's, you want to grow $1 million business. Well, what's the cost you've already paid for not jumping the frickin' walls to build $1 million business and be able to afford whatever it is that you need and want, and the people in your life need and want, where you could help them because you know that you could build that $1 million business and you could help a lot of people around you, a lot of people you care about. Those are all costs. Those faces are all costs that you're paying and they're paying because you haven't jumped the wall. So look at that and blow those costs up in front of your face and allow yourself to feel that, because it's not about you sitting in the feeling of I feel bad. It's about you realizing that there's very real costs for you not listening to that pull, that calling to create that result. So now I know that I've left you with probably a few different areas in your life that have extraordinary costs too. So now look at what's the one domino that would affect all of them. What's the one domino that'll affect all of them? For me, at one point in my life, it was making money. I handled that piece, and it definitely domino effects in a lot of different areas of my life. I have a live-in nanny that makes sure we have food, makes sure we have the house is clean. She manages the house. I don't have to think about any of that. right? She makes my son his lunch. I don't have to take time out of being a mom to make my son lunch. And that might sound funny to you, but with my life, that actually takes time out of my life. I would rather be on the floor with him playing trains than telling him, sorry, mommy's just got to make your lunch first. Like, that's how detailed things have gotten in my life. And I love it. I've never lived a better life than I'm living today. So what's your domino? That was my domino, right? Now I have a new domino, right? Like, so every time we knock a domino down, so you prioritize based on what is the biggest domino you need to focus on right now. And that domino is important for you to focus on and knock it down so that it affects all the other dominoes. But if you do not give somebody the permission to speak authority over your life, I promise you, you cannot depend on people standing up to you. You cannot depend on people standing up to you, because even our bestest friends at times will not stand up to us unless we give them authority. So give someone authority to stand over your life and to really hold you to the grindstone as you're climbing whatever walls you're climbing to get to wherever it is that you're getting to. Here's to loving your day today. Here's to rocking it out. I'll see you tomorrow morning on 7 a.m. Coffee with Shanda, Pacific Standard Time. The agenda for this week, just so that you guys know, is I'm going to speak about how to expand your packaging and your offers. I'm going to talk to you about raising your prices in certain areas to give you freedom from bad clients, and how you do that in a way that doesn't like have you lose all your customer base. And then on Friday, I'm going to do Freestyle Friday, where you can ask me any question you want about your business, and you'll type that into the comment section on Friday, and I will answer your questions. And even if I don't answer them live, then I'll go ahead and I'll answer them afterwards when I get off, and I'll go in the comments and answer them. Or I might send you direct messages and ask you for clarity on something if I need to. So keep an eye on your inboxes. All right, you guys. Love you. Love what you're up to. Stay bold, stay brave, and I'll see you on 7 a.m. Coffee with Shanda tomorrow. Bye.